My brother pinned my girlfriend in a hallway at a wedding. My parents tried to stop the arrest. Years later, they called me crying because he finally did it to his own wife and nobody could cover it up anymore. The first time Victoria met my family, Samuel acted like she was entitled to him. He shoved past our mom to hug her first and held on too long. At dinner, he kept touching her arm, forcing his way into the seat beside her and telling fake inside jokes. When he tried to feed her from his fork, she flinched. She stayed polite anyway. Samuel also used the night to make me look pathetic. He told warped childhood stories and even invented a story about saving my old girlfriend from my abuse. My parents nodded like he was telling the truth. After dinner, I found Samuel blocking Victoria in the kitchen, cornering her by the sink. "You deserve someone exciting," he said, "not my unstable brother." Victoria told him to back off twice. When she saw me, she stepped behind me and started shaking. That was our family pattern. Samuel was the golden child. I was the problem. He sabotaged my relationships with lies, and my parents called it concern. So I kept Victoria secret for months. She's a pediatric nurse with a heart, and she convinced me to try again. I regret it. After that dinner, the harassment started. Unknown calls, creepy voicemails, texts that mentioned her schedule. Samuel's friends started showing up at her hospital and staring her down. One followed her to her car after a night shift, and she called me crying because she was too scared to drive. I gathered everything I could and confronted Samuel at my parents' house. He smirked the whole time. "I don't know what you're talking about," he said, "but maybe she needs to be taught a lesson." I punched him once. He screamed like I'd stabbed him. My mom sobbed about her baby boy. My dad called me jealous and violent. When I showed them the evidence, my mom said Victoria must have led him on at dinner. My dad threw me out and demanded I apologize. We went to the police. The response was basically, not enough to tie it to Samuel. Then my mom begged for a peace dinner to fix things. We walked into an ambush. My parents, Samuel, and the same guys who'd been stalking Victoria. For 2 hours, they called her paranoid, unstable, dramatic. My mom grabbed my arm and whispered, "Choose your real family." I chose Victoria. We planned to move. My cousin Holly invited us to her wedding and promised extra security. Victoria and I sat far from Samuel and my parents. For a few hours, she finally looked like herself again. Around 9 p.m., she went to the bathroom. 10 minutes later, Samuel wasn't at his table. My stomach dropped and I headed for the hallway. Then I heard her scream. First, I saw 2 men sprinting toward the bathrooms. Next, they rounded the corner and stopped dead. Then I saw Samuel pinning Victoria against the wall. After that, his hand covered her mouth. Again, she fought, and his grip bruised her arm. Then they yanked him off like he weighed nothing. Next, Victoria stumbled back, dress torn, shaking hard. Finally, Samuel slurred. She wanted it and kept yelling. Police arrived fast. My parents tried to block the handcuffs. My mom shrieked, misunderstanding. My dad lunged like this was a family matter. Guests filmed Samuel screaming threats as he was shoved into the car. The wedding video caught him following Victoria into that hallway, so the lies didn't stick. Victoria pressed charges. We moved 300 miles away and cut contact. 2 years later, Victoria and I got married. We had a daughter. Life got quiet. Then, after 4 years of silence, my mom called from a new number, hysterical. Samuel had married a woman named Rachel through church. Rachel missed work for days, so police did a welfare check. They found her with broken ribs, a fractured wrist, and bruises everywhere. Samuel had been beating her for months, and my dad had been helping him cover it up, pressuring her family and threatening her job like it was just business. My mom kept saying, "Family sticks together in a crisis." I said, "You stuck together when he hurt Victoria." Samuel was arrested for domestic violence. My dad was arrested too, for intimidation and helping him. Samuel took a plea deal and got 8 years. Rachel divorced him and worked with prosecutors. Other women came forward. The last twist was my mom. She started therapy, moved out, and filed for divorce. She sent me a long letter admitting they created Samuel by never holding him accountable. I didn't reply. I just looked at my daughter and felt sure of one thing. The cycle ended with me.